Hi, I'm Base Bellagio. We have another great tutorial for Space Station 13. Today is the Botanist. But first, hit that subscribe button. Share this video with some friends and other people that like this game and need this information. And leave the 87% club of non-subscribed viewers and join the 12%ers. And let's grow this number to like 30% subscribed. Because too many people are unsubscribed, and I'm trying to get to 1,000. The Botanist is a great role for the beginner that wants a real job.
You go into a job and you're not smart enough for that job, you're going to have one bloody miserable time. And you're going to make life wretched for the people around you because you won't be able to handle the position.
No more being a staff assistant. No more pretending your job is more than it really is as the chaplain. Now it's time to produce something. And what better to produce than space weed? Because that's what 98% of botanists will make. But this guide is going to show you that there are much cooler things to grow and produce as a botanist. Your job as botany is to benefit the entire station with your produce or your adorable bees. Because botany is more than just plants, it is also beekeeping. Your department has its own little niche of the station, your own little nook and cranny for you to hide out in. And for the most part, you are pretty safe. Not many people target botany, unless it's me mailing a smoke bomb into their department.
I'm tired of getting arrested for weed. I'm tired of going to... I can't get a regular job ever, anywhere.
Every botany department comes with the same things for the most part. Plant pots that are electronic, they have status lights on them, and you can even move them around and organize them and use a wrench to attach them to the ground. A seed dispenser, which you probably should hack if you want to get the better seeds and the more elusive breeds of plants. But without hacking, you still have access to quite a lot of produce. And I suggest you should get good at growing plants first before getting into some of the more advanced species. A garden gear vending machine containing all your equipment from satchels to compost bags to chainsaws to plant formulas that you'll need to buff your plants. A Plant Master Mark III machine, which you can use to extract seeds from your plants and vegetables and fruits, and you can use this to infuse your seeds with chemicals or splice different seeds together, different species. This machine is pretty advanced and we will discuss it later. You have a reagent extractor, the same one that is also in science. You could use this to extract chemicals and reagents from your fruits and vegetables. This also has built-in storage tanks that you should utilize to get 500 units of your most potent THC chemical or other fun. You have a ChemMaster 3000 which you can use to turn your extracted reagents into pills, bottles, or patches. This is a lot of fun in itself. When you extract pure grade histamine, put it on patches, and then place it on AFK players, watching them scratch their flesh off their body. That'll teach them to use the bathroom while playing this game. Other than that, you have a couple other notable tools and pieces of gear, one being the watering can. It is a 120 unit beaker basically. And this watering can you could fill with any type of reagent or chemical. You could use it to pour welding fuel on the ground, for example. This is a great tool, and it is often overlooked by the botanist that just thinks it's used for water. This is your pourable beaker. The chainsaw. The chainsaw is a coveted weapon and tool of every department. They want to get their hands on your chainsaw. It's really not that powerful. It causes heavy bleeding, which will piss off the janitor. It also stuns people pretty well. There are better weapons, but the chainsaw is very cool. I love using it to give people permanent chainsaw hands and arms when I'm the surgeon. Groovy. And you can even use it for surgery, as like a bone saw. But that's a different subject. The botanists are master at a hidden skill called blunt craft. And many people think that blunts are just formed with weed. But you can actually roll blunts from all sorts of herbs on the station. It is not limited to just cannabis. You can make medicinal blunts of plants that heal, plants that help with oxygen.
Is that a joint, man?
The possibilities are endless. Definitely play around with this. This is almost like the chef with his hot dog making powers, where you can turn any herb into a herbal hot dog. This is almost like that, except in a smokable tube form. Many people don't realize that botany is one of the arms of cargo, and how cargo makes money, and the quartermaster can use a good botany team to help supplement their budget and make the station money. You can send fruits and vegetables to the quartermaster to sell, and you can sell illicit stuff like drugs and weed to hidden NPCs around the game. Some of them hang around the diner, and others in the debris field. You also need the quartermaster to order more plant trays or more supplies, so definitely utilize your quartermaster a lot.
They say money can't buy happiness. Look at the fucking smile on my face.
The quartermaster can set you up with anything that you need to cater to any department. Maybe you want to make medicine and healing items for medbay. You might need syringes, you might need medical supplies that you don't want to bother medbay for. Ask the quartermaster. Now comes the fun stuff. I highly suggest you use this guide in conjunction with the Wikipedia and the guides I post in the description below. Botany is extremely in-depth, it has many nuances, the rabbit hole goes extremely deep, and not many people can call themselves master botanists on Goonstation, mainly because they probably get too stoned to remember what they did.
I'm so high right now.
Unlike the Goongineers who brag about their exploits. But after researching botany and learning it for myself finally, there is an endless well of information. I'm going to start with a simple indicator. You have a plant analyzer that could be used to analyze species, genome of fruits and vegetables and of growing plants. To have a growing plant, you have to first make a healthy plant. To do this, you click on the plant pot with an empty hand, and you could check to see how your growing plant is doing. There are various indicators that can tell you the condition of the plant and soil. When the message says the soil is completely dry, that means the soil has run out of water and you need to water the plant or it will die. The plant is dying is another message you'll get. This means you have not treated the plant properly or harmful chemicals are killing the plant. The plant looks strange is another bad message. You have managed to grow a rare mutant strain of plant. This could be good or bad. It's pretty much a lotto ticket, a random lotto. Weeds have infested the soil. The pot has been infested with a weed-type plant. You have to take special measures to get rid of it using weed killer or other chemicals. The plant is flourishing. This is a message that you want to hear a lot. The plant has extremely high health. Expect good harvests. The plant glistens with good health. Another great message when you click on the container. The soil looks rich and fertile. Indicates the presence of compost in the soil. Remember, this dries out the soil quicker. We will get the plant formulas soon. In addition to these messages, you're going to get a report of every chemical in the container. If there's potash in there, ammonia, and this is key. Once you know what the chemicals do, this will help you to determine what your plant needs. Some plants produce nectar. You could see if the nectar is in there when you click on the container. This is a treat for your space bees. And also harmful chemicals like toxic slurry may also appear, and that means you have to clean out the pot. If you click drag the plant pot onto yourself, you will completely clear out the pot. This not only empties out the plant, but it cleans out all the water, soil, nutrients, and chemicals. This will not work though if your pot is infested with weeds. You must find a way to kill the weeds before emptying the pot if you want to get rid of them. They'll occasionally appear in unoccupied plant pots and may have various effects and even produce items. But remember, for the most part, these weeds will just kill your plant and are useless. The formulas that will help your plant grow or get rid of weeds are, starting with weed killer, This is atrazine. Science and chem department can make you more of this, or they can make it to give the chef to put in the pizza. This will destroy your weeds. It will also kill lashers and space grass. Compost. This is a powerful tool to boost your plant's growing, but it also uses more water. Basic additive improves the plant's health over time. Can be refilled at, you guessed it, the compost tank. You can also put old vegetables, produce, and items you've grown into the compost container to make compost to fill up your compost bag. Ammonia. Some plants grow slowly, so a bit of ammonia can speed up the process, but it will also use more water. Potash. This is a chemical you go to if you want large harvests, but it shortens the lifespan of plants. Saltpeter tends to have a good effect on crop potency and particularly useful for medical herbs, cannabis, and chili. Saltpeter is also coveted by lazy scientists that want to make black powder, don't want to make saltpeter themselves, or antagonists that also want to make bombs. Mutagenic. This is very dangerous stuff. I used it the wrong way for a long time. I will teach you how to use it properly. By dumping this into a tray is an easy, lazy option to grow all kinds of crazy stuff. However, you have no control over this, and every tick of the plant's life will give more mutagenic properties to it. The best way to use this, and using any of these chemicals, or any chemical for that matter, is to infuse it in the seed with the Plant Master Mark III. And finally, mutadone. As seen in medbay, but mutadone also works on plants. This will stop mutations. Mutating them with mutagenic will damage their DNA, therefore you need mutadone to stop some of these problems. It slows down the plant growth significantly though, as long as it's present in the tray. Now with a combination of pouring these into the containers, using your plant analyzer, and the different messages from examining the tray, also infusing these chemicals, you will get various different stats for everything you grow. Every round will be different. Higher is better for the number of these stats, and let me go through the different statistics there are. There are species, it tells you what the plant is, generation, how many times you've bred the plant, full life cycles. The maturing rate is how fast the plant grows from sprout to finished product. Production rate, how fast the plant becomes harvestable. Lifespan, how many harvests the plants will produce before dying. This has no effect on plants that are only harvestable once. Yield, how many crops the plant will produce besides its normal amount. Potency, how powerful items produced by this plant are. Higher generally means more regions inside. Affects crop quality. Endurance, how high the maximum health of the plant is. It affects how much it can resist dehydration, poison, and even fire. Affects crop quality. With all these stats you could check with the plant analyzer, and this will tell you how you can harvest a plant, if it's going to die, what it will produce, and these stats will be spliced or be passed on, whatever you choose, to the next generations. So you can naturally grow better and better plants by selecting better and better seeds, or you could splice out certain things, or infuse certain things to buff these stats using the chemicals I mentioned earlier.
Africanized bees will attack anything they perceive as a threat.
Beekeeping is pretty easy. You open up the egg carton of bees, take out a bee egg, and use it to hatch the bee, or eat the egg to ingest it and produce a bee hybrid offspring. Bees fly around the botany area or any area. They eat the plants and absorb the chemical of the plants, creating very unique honeys. You can create drug honeys, different infused chemical honeys. This is very interesting to play around with, and you should definitely fill your botany area with bees. It only helps out the situation. Now the magic happens. You have an extensive list of items you can grow. Not even including some of the illegal stuff you can grow, you can still access a whole array of chemicals, concoctions, and magical recipes just by growing normal stuff before even mutating it. For example, eggplant contains nicotine.
Like I smoked that Michoacan, man, Acapulco Gold.
Who would have thunk that one? Garlic contains holy water. You can extract holy water directly from garlic to battle vampires or help a chaplain that lost his holy water kit. For example, even a potato can be made into food like French fries, or turn into a battery to use in power cells. Chili contains capsaicin, which can be used to mess with people as a fun prank. Here's an example of magic that I've learned about. Beans that you grow in botany, when eaten by the average spaceman, allows for fart propulsion in space, because beans contain vast amounts of nitrogen. Now you could grow a plant and extract the chemical and become basically a homebrew chemist right there in your botany department, not even needing science at all. Some of the advanced healing herbs like contussin, asomna, Nereus, camel, ipeck, I'm not going to even try to say the entire word, all contain different healing chemicals like silicic acid, ephedrine, potassium iodide, silver sulfide, etc. Catnip can be turned into catonium or cat drugs, a very powerful space drug. Going into some of the more hacked stuff like poppies, cannabis, these all contain various high-grade chemicals. For example, radweed contains radium. Slurry pods will contain toxic slurry and explode into toxic goop. You really want to experiment. Get deep into botany and see what each plant does, what chemicals are produced, and what combinations you can make. I've seen people create bananas that will explode. I've seen people create so many different radical things that are outside of the mutations because they're combining various different things and chemistries in plants, in people's bodies. Very wild stuff. Crop mutations. This is where we take botany to the next level. Sometimes when you're just growing plants, they will mutate naturally. Other times you can force mutations with mutagen or other various growing methods. But the whole idea is simple. You can create some very, very crazy things. I'm going to read a couple off the list, but you really have to check the wiki for this and gain direction on which way you want to go and if you want to try something else. Everyone's favorite seething tomatoes. You must infuse the tomato with an incendiary or explosive chemical to gain this mutation. Seethers, tomatoes with hot flavor, the wiki says, when thrown will make a 3x3 fireball and inflicts burn upon the person, which scales with potency. So depending on how good you grow these tomatoes will be how hot the fire is. And you can even reduce people's heat resistance when these are potent enough. The fireballs can ignite other seethers, causing a massive eruption. They contain welding fuel. So again, these might just seem like a prank, but you can actually grow these to get more welding fuel. Suspicious tomatoes, infusion with an animating serum. This is definitely a more secret to advanced recipe, but basically this is attack of the killer tomatoes. You are creating a mob entity from the tomato, pretty radical. They have everything from grapefruits that you can grow from grapes that are mutated, green grapes, blackberries, blue raspberries, all coming from raspberries. For example, the blackberry will contain blackberry juice. The blue raspberry will contain blue raspberry juice when used with the chef and his juicer. Blood oranges are a mutation of oranges that contain not only orange juice, but also changeling blood. Very odd and an easy way to get changeling blood. Rainbow weed is definitely one that you've seen. When you walk by botany, you see some rainbow colored cannabis. This is a natural mutation of cannabis. Deathweed, lifeweed, both are pretty powerful stuff. The deathweed will kill people easily. The lifeweed contains omnazine, a powerful healing chemical. Magic mushrooms, for example. So you take space fungus and you mutate it into magic mushrooms. This contains psilocybin. This is one of the only ways to achieve psilocybin naturally in the game. You cannot make psilocybin in the laboratory, as far as I know. White mushrooms, which is basically the angel death caps. These contain potent mycotoxin, which is a powerful delayed stealth poison. And botany has access to this through a couple of mutations. You can get low chances of random mutations when you grow synth meat. I've had synth butts being grown, synth eyes. You can practically grow any synth organ using your various mutations. And you can even do my favorite, growing your own synth butt bots. Not the butts, but the whole robot in itself in one fell swoop. You do this by infusing a synth butt seed with bot chemical. You can grow your own butt bots. Pretty awesome stuff. I love butt bots, and I cannot lie. The wheat mutations are always something people start with. If I were you and you want to start with mutations, start with wheat. Grow durum wheat or steel wheat. You infuse steel components as optional to get the steel wheat. It does occur naturally also, or forced. And the possibilities really are endless. You can grow trees that produce money, rubber trees. You could do a lot of stuff. Burning camel is a fun one. It contains phlogiston, a powerful fire chemical. A lot of the secret goon recipes, these plants produce on their own. And I never knew that. As a scientist, as a chem main, I like to chem sometimes. I never knew that I could avoid all this wild goose chases, searching for ingredients, fun exploration. I could just go to botany, roll up a doobie, and grow some of these amazing secret recipes like Hairgronium, for example. That comes from Fuzzy Nereus, a mutation of the Nereus plant.
Well, shit.
You really have to dig deep into the Wikipedia, onto the Guide to Botany, which I'm going to post below, to really learn all the nuances, all the details, even down to gene strains known as traits. Plants can get specific traits on top of mutations, like unstable, slow metabolism, splice blocker, vulnerability, toxic, enzymatic. Splicing allows you to combine two different species of plants. The closer they are on the genome, the easier it is to splice. Some plants are impossible to combine. You want to get as close to 100% splicing chance as possible. You can make hybrid plants using this, and I'll read you a little bit. This results in things like super herbs that heal burns, fix genetic defects, and remove toxic damage simultaneously, prank bananas that explode when eaten, and peanuts so sugary that they will put people into diabetic comas. Ah! Dude! The resulting seed packet will be an average of the color of the two parent seeds when it works. I have not tried this in my research hard enough, but now that I know botany and I knocked off the rust and dust of my own gaming, I have never really tried this out fully, and I will be experimenting it in my own rounds in the future, and you will see them on the full playthroughs or edited stories coming in the future. Also, finally, outside of the seed machine, outside of hacking, outside of splicing and fusing, around the game you're going to find packets of strange seeds. Sometimes they are average strain seeds, sometimes they are truly amazing strain seeds. Definitely want to experiment with these. Usually the deeper in the debris field or adventure zone somebody gets these seeds from, the crazier the item is that you grow. Sometimes this will grow a creature like Little Shop of Horrors. Sometimes this will grow an amazing alien plant or vegetable. Definitely try this out. And finally, I can't stress this enough. First, check out the wiki. You need to study the wiki as with every job, but botany really, for me, is hard to wrap my head around. Chemistry is easy. 2 + 2 = 4. You know, the recipe for Space Lube is this, that, and the other.
Now, we can't show you that video because the man was naked and covered in jello. However, we can show you the video of the aftermath.
Very cut and dry. But botany leaves a lot of room for experimenting, a lot of room for you to add your flair to it, a lot of room for trial and error, and you should definitely try botany out on your next playthrough. And finally, have fun. Botany embodies the happy-go-lucky, kick your feet up, smoke a doobie while you work mentality. Have fun in botany, goof around, don't let people like me mail you smoke bombs. You need to mail every department on the whole station bundles and bundles of seething tomatoes, bundles of cherries that'll splatter into blood-like puddles everywhere. You need to spread your joy and your banana peels all over the station. Make sure that you load up the chef with all sorts of fruits and vegetables, overwhelm him with things that he could produce. Send the bar a bunch of cocktails, oranges, lemons, limes, so they could cut wedges. Make sure you're spreading your love all around the station as the botanist. And that being said, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Consider subscribing. I would love to get you on this channel. I would love to see you in the comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts on a live stream. And finally, please share this video with a friend of yours, someone that likes video games, someone that likes Space Station 13. Share this information with them today. I would love that. Thank you very much for watching. You people out there are amazing, and I love each and every one of you. Thank you very much. Have a great day.